Hey, Angel Reese, back in the gym, working on her pull-up, bang. Working on her midi, working on her mid-range game, 15 to 17 feet out, being able to create some space for herself. Yes, this looks embarrassingly slow. No, it is not in slow motion. This is just what we have to work with right now.
When you first check out Lexi Hull's training clips with the Indiana Fever, it's tough to look away. She's sinking threes with smooth, confident form. Right beside her, Caitlin Clark is locked in, perfecting her mid-range
shots like it's second nature. The whole video hits different. It's sharp, focused, and professional. No surprise it pulled in 2.7 million views within just a day. Every move has purpose, guided by a skilled development coach who turns basic drills into elite-level work. Then came Angel Reese's video, and the contrast couldn't be more obvious.
Mabry comes up with the board. Long pass, perfect to Reese. She was unable to get it in. And they play some beautiful basketball. Again, no Brianna Stewart today. Chicago's missed 7 straight shots.
That's off all screens, so she's not getting any easy look.
Reese.
Watching a 6'3" post player who had trouble finishing simple layups last season, working on long jump shots instead really made me stop and think. There were no coaches around, no clear plan, just a camera rolling as she practiced moves that hardly ever show up in real games. That's when it clicked. Not all training is the same, and some approaches clearly miss the mark.
But it's like, work on your weaknesses. Work on your weaknesses, and work on the important weaknesses.
What the Indiana Fever are doing with their training isn't your usual off-season content. It's a full-on championship game plan that's blowing up online. This isn't the typical watch me lift weights stuff most WNBA players post. The Fever are putting their whole strategy out there, showing fans exactly how they're getting ready to dominate next season, and people are loving every second of it.
More players like kind of almost in these workouts, but they're probably doing a lot of workouts with individual players. But yeah, she's going to the basket, takes a reverse layup right there. She makes a nice off-footed finish layup, nice floater right there. Stephanie White's actually showing her what to do while being denied, coming off some fakes, which is nice, doing her like patented jump shot. Oh, she shot the ball to her left.
What makes these videos stand out is how purposeful everything is. Each player is working on skills that fit together perfectly, like pieces of a championship puzzle. Lexi Hull focuses on corner threes and quick-release jumpers to give Caitlin Clark the space she needs to drive. Sophie Cunningham sharpens her elbow jumpers because that's exactly where defenders will leave her open when Clark gets double-teamed. Most teams post basic workout clips that don't reveal much. But the Fever are different. They're openly showing how their offense is coming together. You can literally watch their system take shape. Hull's shooting stretches the floor for Clark's drives. That draws attention inside, creating post-up chances for Aaliyah Boston and opens up kick-out options for Cunningham's mid-range shots. It's a smart, connected strategy, and that clear vision is exactly why these videos are blowing up on social media. Keith Porter isn't just any trainer. He's fully involved on the court, defending players and pushing them to play at game speed. His dedication is clear, especially when you see he traveled all the way to Massachusetts just to work with Aaliyah Boston. He's not focused on individual drills. He's building a shared vision for the entire team. Even the way they're training is filmed feels intentional. When you see Boston working on left-hand finishes and floaters, it's not random. It's a direct response to how teams defended her last season. She's solving real in-game problems, like counters for when defenders force her right, or adding floaters when bigs step up. She's also tightening her footwork to create space in the post. The veterans are all in too. Natasha Howard, Brianna Turner, and DeWanna Bonner are refining specific roles within the offense built around Clark's passing. Howard practices short roll finishes, Turner focuses on rim protection and vertical spacing, and Bonner is locked in on becoming a reliable corner shooter when the defense collapses. The Fever aren't just highlighting what they're good at, they're working on what held them back. After struggling with defensive rotations last season, they're now drilling help-side defense and team coverage in training. Sharing all of this so openly sends a powerful message. Even if opponents know what's coming, they won't be able to stop it. That's the confidence of a team aiming for greatness.
What up, Fever family? It's Coach Keith Porter. Today I got Aaliyah Boston in the gym. We've been working on some footwork, getting up and down the floor, just working on being better today.
Basketball analysts and former players are now diving into these videos and pointing out the smart strategy behind what the Fever are putting together. They're not just training individual players. They're building a complete system where every player's progress fuels the team's championship goal. This is what real championship culture looks like. Every drill, every rep, and every skill session ties back to a bigger purpose. It's like building a puzzle where each piece fits perfectly to complete the full picture. The Fever aren't just stacking talent. They're carefully shaping a team where every part makes the whole stronger. It's focused, meaningful development, the exact opposite of those empty highlight workouts made just for social media. The championship mindset the Fever are creating is a sharp contrast to what we just saw from Angel Reese. When legends like Shaquille O'Neal and Lisa Leslie point out that you need to focus on layups, most players would take that advice seriously, but not Angel. In her latest training video, she's working on everything except the one area she clearly needs to improve. That gap between her real weaknesses and what she's choosing to train on might be the most eye-opening moment of the entire off-season. After months of doing media rounds and showing up on red carpets, Angel Reese finally put out a training video to show she's putting in work. But the timing felt more like a reaction, especially with the Indiana Fever's development clips blowing up online. As soon as Reese's footage dropped, basketball fans noticed the issue right away. It didn't show her working on the areas she truly needs to fix. Angel Reese, a 6'3" post player, struggled last season with a dismal 44.5%, shooting from less than 5 feet. One of the lowest finishing percentages in the entire WNBA for a player taking so many close-range shots. Despite this obvious weakness, her latest training video shows her working on jump shots, three-pointers, and perimeter moves, instead of focusing on finishing at the rim. One fan raised a valid point, asking why this video is coming from Reese's PR team and not the Chicago Sky. Another questioned why she's practicing three-pointers when she can't consistently make layups. These aren't just random complaints. They're real basketball concerns, and they're in line with advice she's already received from two basketball legends, Shaquille O'Neal and Lisa Leslie, both of whom have publicly urged her to focus on improving her layups and inside game.
I train about 4 or 5 days a week. A lot of young guns out there now that, they want to take your spot, and I don't blame them, but it's going to be hard because I'm going to go after it.
Despite expert recommendations, Angel Reese appears to be overlooking the critical aspects of her game that need work, instead focusing on shots she rarely attempts in actual competition. The statistics paint an even more troubling picture. Beyond her 44.5% finishing rate within 5 feet, Reese shot under 15% from 5 to 9 feet out. Her overall field goal percentage stood at just 39.1%. These figures clearly emphasize an urgent need to improve her close-range scoring, rather than concentrating on perimeter shooting.
Lexi Hall being back in Indiana, in the gym, working out, We saw Keith Porter in there. We saw Lexi shooting her shots. We saw Lexi with reverse layup.
Even more revealing is the fact that nearly 40% of Angel Reese's rebounds last season came from her own missed shots. Nearly half of her total rebounds, the stat she's most recognized for, were from cleaning up her own errors. This creates a misleading statistical image where her struggles at finishing are inflating her rebounding numbers. Equally concerning is what's absent in Reese's training footage. No Chicago Sky staff, no development coaches providing feedback, and no structured plan. While the Fever's players train with coaches on targeted skills, Reese's video shows a lack of professional oversight and a missing strategy for growth.
Right? I don't think that's where she's going to be offensively. I think her new coach is taking her away from the basket.
Basketball analysts have labeled Angel Reese's training footage as all flash, no substance, calling it out for prioritizing appearance over fixing actual weaknesses in her game. This exposes a concerning lack of self-awareness about where her real improvement should be focused. The difference compared to Indiana's system is impossible to ignore. The Fever's development content is filled with directed coaching, where every drill connects to real game situations and key skill areas. Their players are honing abilities that will instantly translate on the floor, while Reese is practicing perimeter shots when it's her inside game that desperately requires work.
Put myself in her shoes and I said, you know what? If Angel Reese was my power forward, and he saw this chart that we're looking at right now, and I see that when she's close around the basket finishing on layups, she's shooting 42%. And when I see Camila Cardoso around the basket finishing on layups, bottom of the chart, folks, she's finishing at a 56% clip. Well, if I'm Tyler Marsh, I am saying to myself, okay, let's make sure that this paint is not congested.
Chicago Sky fans are understandably uneasy when a cornerstone player focuses on the wrong skills, especially with questionable form and no visible coaching guidance. The fan reaction shows they possess a better grasp of basketball development fundamentals than the player herself. This isn't some deep analysis. The issue is obvious to anyone who watched Reese last season. She struggles to convert at the rim, yet she's practicing three-pointers. This disconnect raises real concerns about her basketball awareness and willingness to address her genuine weaknesses. The professional basketball community isn't just surprised by what Angel Reese is working on. They're genuinely dismayed by how she's approaching it. A closer look at her shooting mechanics reveals why shooting coaches nationwide are uneasy. Her release point is too low, typically around chest level, leading to a pushing motion rather than a smooth upward release that elite shooters use. This fundamental flaw makes her focus on perimeter shooting even more confusing and potentially harmful to her overall growth as a player.
Biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups, period. Like, we're going to fix that. Yeah. That's fixable for you.
When trainers evaluate shooting form, they emphasize consistency, release point, and follow through. And Angel Reese's mechanics raise concerns in every category. Much like a car with a faulty engine, her pushing motion almost ensures unpredictable results, which explains her struggles with anything beyond close-range shots last season. Rather than correcting these flawed fundamentals, she's doubling down on them, which risks holding back her development rather than enhancing it.
Oh, I think Ionescu brought help over on Kennedy. Carter, and then underneath, and that was the chance. Inside, Cardozo.
The difference between Angel Reese and Aaliyah Boston is remarkable. Despite playing virtually the same role, Boston converted 55.2% of her field goal attempts in her rookie year, a 16-point lead over Reese. This disparity highlights the gap between being a reliable offensive option and a liability, directly reflecting their different attitudes toward improvement. Boston's training clips display a player committed to her role, working on post footwork, finishing with touch around the basket, and developing her offhand, targeted, position-specific skills. Meanwhile, Reese showcases perimeter shots that rarely appear in her actual games, and when they do, they're often unsuccessful. What makes this even more troubling is Reese's poor shooting percentage from 5 to 9 feet, under 15%. This is a vital zone for post players, where moves like drop steps, hook shots, and short jumpers should be dependable go-to options. By neglecting this key skill area in favor of three-pointers, Reese is demonstrating a clear misunderstanding of what it takes to create a well-rounded offensive game.
Like WNBA leveling up and all eyes on her now, I think that she knows that she has to completely restructure her form, because that is not the way to be efficient in the post position that she is in. At the post position that she's in, a layup is supposed to be a given. She needs to improve her touch around the rim, like all over the place, but she seems to take these desperation shots.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, takes a structured, intelligent approach to her off-season work. She's dealing with rookie challenges by tightening her ball handling under pressure, expanding her mid-range scoring, and improving her ability to finish through contact. This careful, deliberate method mirrors how some of basketball's all-time greats turned weaknesses into strengths, reflecting a strong commitment to all-around development and adaptability.
She is, it's more than a fact, she is not good at layups. But I was looking at her stats, I jotted some down right here, and she shoots an abysmal 39% from the field. She shot below 50% on shots less than 5 feet away, which is bad. And even worse than that is that shots from 5 to 9 feet, 13%.
Legends like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird sustained 2-decade careers by continuously evolving, adding new skills and adjusting to defensive changes. Caitlin Clark seems to naturally grasp this formula for long-term success, while Angel Reese appears to be moving in the opposite direction. What frustrates serious basketball fans is that Reese has undeniable talent and physical gifts. Her rebounding instincts are elite, and her energy is unmatched. But those strengths are being wasted by her scattered, misguided training choices. She's producing content that looks good online, but doesn't result in meaningful improvement on the court.
Great. She can get back to building that brick house on the hoop like she did last year. With her shot release, I don't know how she gets any shots off. Well, you heard what I said. And look, the guy's being objectively just critical when it comes to basketball. With that release, how is she getting shots off? It's real slow. It's a good question.
Professional player development follows a clear and effective path. Start with mastering the basics, then gradually build toward more advanced skills. A player needs to clearly understand their role and concentrate on refining the abilities that make them valuable within that framework. Just as important is having the honesty to acknowledge personal weaknesses and a willingness to work on them, rather than sidestepping those issues for the sake of appearance.
Why in the world are we working on layups, or not working on layups, when you got such a problem and you're so inefficient with your inside ball game? I just don't understand it, all right? Not only that, but that release is still draggy and slow. All right? You're a 4. Why are you shooting that far away? I get it. Eventually, you got to develop a jump shot. But you got to get the fundamentals down first.
What we're witnessing here is a comparison between a proven model for long-term success and a pattern leading to career stagnation. Basketball experts are already predicting a dynasty in the making for the Indiana Fever, thanks to their strategic skill development approach. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's training habits might actually be limiting her future. The contrast is clear. The Fever is assembling a well-planned, cohesive team, while Reese lacks strategic direction. Her field goal percentage tells the story. Her problems finishing around the rim need immediate attention, yet she keeps prioritizing outside shooting instead of fixing her real weaknesses. The choice is simple: discipline or hype. The outcome is proven. Steady development wins championships.